Morning. Hey, it's Wednesday, the 27th of February. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Stay strong, but stay humble. Focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Go! Like a boss! Hey, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy oil inventories day. Happy second day of the Fed testimony. Happy, first or second day of the Cohen testimony. We also have, the U.S. and, what's his title? Anyways, we're going to learn a little bit more about U.S. international trade. So lots going on in the government today. There's lots, which means there's lots of tweets or whatever that are going to move the market or could potentially move the market. So it's one of these days where today is not a usual day. And when things are unusual, that means a higher level of risk. So please be cautious. And that's just in the United States of America. And as we know, our risks are global. So be cautious today. Be ready today. Be alert today. Anyways, hi. My name is Wayne McDonald. I am the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. Thank you very much for being at the webinar today, hosted by Forex.Today at the Forex.Today YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for attending every day. Thank you for the loyalty and respect that you show me and to your other Forex trader comrades. Thank you for all of that, and thank you for the effort that you put in every day to succeed. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to give you guidance and advice and share tidbits that will help you become a better foreign exchange trader. And if these webinars are helping you find success and find confidence and just even stay involved as a currency trader, then please pay that back by visiting tradersway.com. Step 1, open a demo account. Takes you 30 seconds. Literally, just 30 seconds you're in. Once you're in your back office, you can download MT4. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Then if you look in the video description below this video on YouTube, there's a link to download all my chart templates. And you can have them for free, including my pivot points. The insider secret bank buying and selling levels that only I know. Oh yeah, I give you that for free. You can have that. You just have it. That's cool, right? Good deal? So again, thank you for the loyalty and respect you show me every day. I do appreciate it. So what do you want to do today, huh? Gold? Okay, Pharaoh, we'll do some gold today. Some yen pairs, some dollar pairs. Pound is in the sky today, which means it'll be in the toilet some other day. Yeah, so it looks like what they're going to kick the can down the line, but it's amazing. Like, did we think they were going to make a deal? Like, at some point, like, the volatility is interesting for trading, right? Up, for a week or two, and then down for a week or two. That's really cool for trading, meaning, day trading, maybe even a weekly swing, but it's hard because without a trend, you don't know if last week was bearish, will this week be bearish, or is it bullish, and then it's bullish for 2 weeks, and then bearish for 2 weeks. Like, it makes it more difficult for things like swing trading, but it's excellent for day trading. But really what I prefer, if I can be me for a second, I prefer swing trading in the direction of a trend. So it's almost like market timing of investments, right? Like, think of it, portfolio management isn't necessarily trading, it's more investing, which is nice. In Forex, you get leverage. So when you're right, you're very, very, very right. Plus, you're getting paid for interest. You're being paid interest on it. So it's cake and ice cream. So, which is the best way, I think, on the long term, if you're going to look at your career, to have good results. But if all you have is sort of day trading, maybe squeezing a weekly swing, um, it's fine. It's just less ideal, I think. That's all. Let's go to the charts. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, 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 Alejandro. Okay. Pound yen. Sure. Well, pound yen. This is pound yen, actually. You know what we need here is a watermark. But I don't know what the settings are on the other. I think what I'll have to do is take a watermark off one of these. What are those settings? I wish you could drag and drop something from one chart to another. Wouldn't that be great? Hey, MT4 programmers, if you just grab something here and drop it there, and now I have a copy. That'd be cool. So anyways, I'll have to look at that. Wow, what a day, huh? Hey, Daniel, I got your message. Yeah, I'll pass it on. I don't think he's back in the country yet. But yeah, that's exciting. I mean, that sounds legit. Anyways, cool. So let's not start here. Let's start here, as they say in Georgia. What's up, Unethical? Peter Ward says pound very reactionary. Yeah, Peter, right? But so if you're like scalping or spot trading, like, and by the way, when I say spot trading, I guess another way to describe it so that we all speak the same language. Let's define what I'm talking about. Can I do it here? Well, let me get a drawing space. That's not going to work. I just got this idea. I wonder if this will work. Black. Okay, let's say I draw here. It's going to look like Khan Academy, maybe. All right, so scalping. Yeah, it looks like Khan Academy. Okay. All right, a scalp, no trend. So let's say trend, no trend, which means you can buy and sell and buy and sell. You don't really, there's no real strategy. It's all tactics. How about that? No strategy, all tactics. So there's no trend. You don't have a bias. You couldn't give a damn, right? Great. And that lasts a few minutes, right? Typically, you're trading on a 1 minute or a 5 minute chart, let's say, okay? 1M to 5M. Those are supposed to be M's, okay? Then there's spot, and that's what I was just talking about now. I wanted to find that because it may not have meaning to someone that does, because it's my interpretation, right? So anyways, so spot trading to me is typically on a 15-minute chart, okay? And there is trend, but what kind of trend is it? Is it a daily trend? Is it a weekly trend? Is it a monthly trend? Well, actually, when I spot trade, what I'm basically talking about is the move for the session. What do I mean by session? I'll trade the Asian session. I'll trade the European session. And I'll trade the US session as individual components of the day. I'll use daily pivots and such, but what I'm doing is like, if I'm trading Shanghai or Tokyo, I'm out before the European markets open. And like, for example, European markets, from 1:30 a.m. to 3:30 is where my trades go in. and that's London Open. And the reason I call it a spot is I'm only trading the London Open. And I don't consider the US session the same trade. And very often these are opposite trades. Okay? Where this goes up 25 pips, this goes down 100, right? And this can go what? Up 30, down 50, and then up again the next Asia, right? So very often I look at this and I'm front running Shanghai, I'm front running London Open, and then US, you can't really front run per se. So you got to know where you are in the context of the overall move and all that kind of stuff. So I say you can get lucky in Europe, but New York is a street fight. I've said that for many years. You can get lucky in London, but New York is a street fight. Now, why can you get lucky in London? Because you make some sort of decision, good, bad, or stupid, we don't know. And you buy London for whatever reason. It could be the dumbest reason on the planet. And then boom, it takes off and it moves. And you make lots of money, right? And the thing is, the reason that is more prevalent in London, let's see if I can do this again. The reason it's more prevalent in London is typically London, I kind of like the white better. London is London typically is provides the highest point of the day and or the lowest point in the day. So if you sell London Open and you are profitable, you're probably going to be profitable all day. You pick the top of the market. So it's like one of these situations where you lose 33 pips or you're going to make 99. And I could do that all day long. And that's a typical day trade, right? You see what I mean? And that, to me, that's a spot trade turning into a day trade. So that's like a daily swing. So my London trades are typically my daily swing as well. So I'm looking for swing trades. But if I can get my London profitable, I ain't touching it. And I'm going to try to turn it into a swing. Do I do that in Asia? No. Do I do that in US? No. Okay. Do I do that in London? Yes. So I'll daily swing London, and then I'll maybe scalp or spot Asia and New York. And I hope that makes sense. I just wanted to make sure we had all the same language. So when I say spot, you know what I mean, spot. Okay? Cool. All right. Let's go into here. So let's go back into here. Okay. What does Wayne want? Does Wayne want oil to go up or does Wayne want oil to go down? Oh, thank you, Peter. Why do you look at time? Oh my gosh. No, Renko. Oh my gosh, Renko. Oh my gosh, no. Renko, no. No, time is so important. Oh my gosh. I suppose time doesn't matter if you're trading daily candles, because that would matter much less. But most people know, when you enter a trade is so critically important. My gosh, yeah. Amazing, yeah. But anyways, yeah. Jim says, so spot is a daily swing. No, Jim. Spot is a session related. It just happens that my personal opinion, if I can catch a London move, I'll stay in it. Even if it's just the session. How about this, Jim? Even if I'm only in the pound yen for 4 hours, very often it's going to provide the top and the low. Okay? So a spot trade is Asian session. Spot trade is London session. Spot trade is New York session. So there, you can say there's 3 potential spot trades per day. I'm in it for 4 hours or less. I'm making decisions on 15-minute charts and maybe throwing an hour just for direction. Okay. Okay, so Renko, that makes sense, Renko. You trade without time, and that's fine. But Renko, you're correct me if I'm wrong, because obviously I don't trade Renko charts, but they are typically used for, I don't know, let's say traditionally used for more like day trading, but I guess I'll take that back because everything I guess used to be that way, meaning daily charts and stuff. So that's cool. If you want to take that out, I'm definitely not going to poo-poo on that. But to me, when you enter a trade is critically important. Again, if it's a day chart, it wouldn't really matter because you're not really trading the noise inside of a daily candle. So yeah, that would be, if you like Renko charts, and obviously you do, then use Renko charts. But I couldn't imagine like trading Asia without even considering the London Open. I couldn't do it. Right? Like, I'm going to buy it, and who cares about Asia? But maybe Renko filters all that out, and that's why you like it. But anyways, interesting. Alejandro asks, what are your opinion about ATR? Well, again, the way that you ask it, what's my opinion? Well, the math works every time. Does each session have its own pivot points or still daily? Very good question, Jen. I would use my daily pivots, but not 4-hour pivots. But with the pivot points I give you, I think it's these ones. Let's do the other one. It's just easier. Well, anyways. You could switch to a 4-hour. Yeah, I did the wrong ones. Let me do this again. Okay, we're going to lose our analysis. No, I want weekly. Okay, there we go. 4-hour. Got it. Close. So you could easily set it up. So these are 4-hour pivot points. Every period is 4 hours now. So what is this? The beginning of New York, I guess, and this is what, London. So 4 hours ago, I guess it's. Yeah, it doesn't quite overlap. One. You know what I would. Let me do something to even help myself. There's a couple of things I could do, I suppose. I can run these back 6. Oh, I know what I want to do. Let's change this from monthly now to daily. And that will give us our period. Okay. So these 8 hours, because really it's 8 hours, isn't it? Not 4 hours. Asia, London, and New York is starting. So, right? So this is Asia. Oops, I still have it. Well, let's do it this way. Colors. Cayenne. Okay, this is Asia. This is London. And this is New York, which of course hasn't opened yet. So I suppose you could. I don't do it that way. Can you see the bigger gray areas are the daily pivots, and that's what I do. Okay, I do. He said do. So I would look at this and say, okay, if I'm a bull, and you guys should know I'm a bull, right? So when the market opened, that was the bullish buy zone, and this is the target for the day. So I just do that because that's not that complicated, right? I just here's the start of the day. Here's the target. Cool. Now, if you're a bear, you would have sold here, and it wouldn't have worked out for you. You got knocked out at the London Open, but you probably broke even, or maybe you lost a little money. Whatever. It's part of trading. So the difference between winning and losing is simply your bias. So a bull buys this, a bear sells that, somebody makes money. Right? Not a big deal. Remember, a bull has a stop down here, a bear has a stop up there, but really a higher high off of that is, this move here is clearly a role reversal. So, that would have been probably a walk away type scenario. Okay. As soon as this was up here, you'd move your stop. Probably even to here. Cool. Good question, Jen. Hey, Renko, do you teach people how to use Renko charts? Yeah, I do, Azabu, but I mean, it's just that easy. I mean, you don't need all that. But I think I do. But the problem is I think you have to set it up properly and based on your local time and the server time at Trader's Way. But I think I do. Oh, I think it's called Sessions, isn't it? Let's see. I don't think I have it on this machine. Thought I did though. Oh, 4 sessions. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it's about the same. Asia open, Asia close, European open, European close, New York open. So yeah, it's essentially the same thing. But I'm doing it with pivots now. So I'm trying to overlap these things. So you can see they're not quite, I can adjust these over one, right? So I can get rid of Pacific. So let's try this. Indicators, 4 sessions, inputs, probably get rid of Pacific. Let's do that right away. Pacific, legend. How do I turn these on or off? Guess I can just make it white. At the very least, I can mess around with it later. And then, of course, I want to roll these all back an hour. So I could do that through here. I don't want to mess with that right now. Take too long, but anyways. So you can adjust these so that everything moves back an hour or two. Actually, it needs to be a few more hours, right? So move this back so they overlap with these pivot points. So, right? Anyways, Asia moved 34 pips. Europe moved 114. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Somali, eh? Thank you, Vincent. Yeah. So it's interesting, right? So, yeah. So anyways, I want oil to go up. And we had it marked up for plan A, plan B, but for bears, but there was only one plan A for bulls. Okay, so let me remark it, and that's easily done since it's still just technical analysis. You can do this all day long. Okay, there's my one buy zone. I suppose the next buy zone's way down here, but that's not going to happen in a day. Let's move, let's delete, delete, and delete, done. Okay, so that's the buy zone. We also identified two sell zones, if you recall. There was a high one up here, and there was a lower one. I guess it's somewhere off of here, right? Is that how you remember it? Liam, I just got it off of MT4, so it's just free. Or the name of it is 4 Sessions. So do a Google search for 4 Sessions MT4 indicator. It'll come up. Okay, Liam. Okay. So again, do you see the difference of like maybe your trading and how you should be trading? Your bias determines what you do. And it doesn't change very often. So if you're a bull last week, you're probably a bull this week. Unless something fundamentally has changed, but fundamentals don't change that often. Okay? So if you're a bull before, okay, you were buying down in here. And if you're a bull now, you're buying here. This is simple price action. I'm not even using pivot points or anything else. All we're using here is price action. I'm not even using the moving averages. Although you can see the 200 EMA indicates it's trending and all that kind of stuff. Okay? Great. And if you're a bear, you're kind of looking at this area here. I think it was a pivot though. And then this one, which I also think is a pivot. Okay? And I guess you could have a third plan B to sell up there if you're a bear. Think of it, they're going to trade a top, right? So you know as a bull, that's where you're going to be challenged. But there's only one bull area right now. The next one's way down here and much less ideal, right? Maybe there's one here. Maybe. I guess you could argue there's going to be one sitting around there. So anyways, plan A, plan B, plan C, but we're nowhere near plan A or plan B, right? Cool, right? So do you see what determines you're right and what determines you're wrong is just whether the market agrees with your bias at this time or not. Remember, at this time. If you trade without a bias, you're continuously trying to get lucky. That your trading is inconsistent in the market and the market is inconsistent. Now, if your trading is consistent but the market is inconsistent, then there are times when you simply will profit and there will be times when you simply don't profit. But your trading is consistent in an inconsistent market. So what consistency the market gives is the degree which you are profitable. But you're bringing consistency to to your behavior is consistent in an inconsistent market. So therefore, you'll get sort of measurable or even predictable types of returns. The predictability is how much does your bias overlap with what the market is doing today or in this period, this week, this month, okay? Now, if you're inconsistent, meaning you're a bull today, a bear tomorrow, bull this hour, bull next hour, bull on this candle, bear on that candle, and the market is inconsistent, there are times when the market will turn bullish and you're now for some reason a bear, and then as soon as you become bullish, the market turns bearish, and now you have to really juggle. I don't know if there's even chainsaws and kittens at the same time, and it's going to get messy. Yes, Jan, yes. Yes, you do both. Because typically plan A and plan B, especially on a 4-hour chart, like if we were on a currency, probably are, let's say, I don't know, 75 pips apart or 50 pips apart. Okay. So yeah, you'd go plan A. So like, I can't even see this now, I've drawn on it, but plan A on oil was to buy it at, 55-ish? Buy it at 55. Or plan B, it looks like the closest plan B I can create would be here. And what is that? Buy it at 55 or buy it at 54. Right? That's a big difference. That's like 100 pips, right? So you can see it's very simple price action. Buy a 382, for example, or buy a 618. Very, very basic, right? Is that right, Rob? Yeah. Maybe I should have used a different analogy, like a stripper and a juggler. What do you watch? This is where you need two eyes, right? You're like mesmerized. How many people find this type of analysis almost too easy? You're like, wow, he's a bull, and plan A was buy a 382 Fibonacci retracement, or plan B was to buy a 618 Fibonacci retracement at a psychological level. Well, I can do that, right? Easy is awesome. But we did talk about that for, I think, 2 days, right? We still don't know if it's in the free and clear. We still don't know if it's going to make a higher high. But you should feel probably more comfortable in the first move, right? Right. Well, we know it's not as easy as it should be, especially in the beginning, right? So what makes it more difficult then? Right? If it's been trending up for 2 months and it makes a higher high, why is it difficult to plan a higher low role reversal? Like, why? That's a really interesting question, isn't it? Right? Well, it should be easy, right, Pedro? That's what I'm getting to. Okay? So try to ask yourself, why does it seem more difficult on your own? And what are you going to do to change what you're doing? I mean, you have to change something that you're doing, right? Yeah, it's inside bank stuff. I think every smart trader goes through this, right? Hey, John, what's going on, buddy? I don't know what that means, but but so getting back to my point, I have found in my, I don't know, 15 years or whatever career, that when I sit down with myself and analyze my trading, not from a numbers point of view, but a more of a why and a how point of view. Why do I do this? Right? Why do I do this? Why do I behave this way? Why do I complicate it? What can I do to simplify? Are the biggest questions. Yeah, more trade planning obviously helps. Yeah. But like for example, this did take 2 days to set up, and we did set it up over the course of 2 days, right? I think a lot of people are not willing to wait that long for a trade. Also, do you remember this was a Trump tweet? Remember? So ask yourself, how important are sort of news events versus economic events? Okay, news. I mean, these seem simple, but like, sit down and write a 2-page paper to yourself. The difference between news and economics. Like, does Trump's tweet change the economics? Or is this just a news bite? Did it change anything? Now, there's still plausibility that a bear wants to get involved, and maybe partially because of the tweet, I don't know. But that old higher high is still technically potential resistance, right? But that's why if you're a bull, you need to pay attention to these things down in here. Now, do you remember these are also weekly pivots? This is a weekly get out zone for bears. No, they don't tell. Someone asks, Wayne, how do you adjust the pivots? They tell you sessions. No. I have an indicator called 4 sessions. Does that not work? Insert indicators, custom 4 sessions. There we go. Click. Is it not working now? There we go. It's not the pivot points doing it. So anyways, yeah, what I'm trying to ask you is, again, do your analysis, try to stay with your bias, try to plan your trades farther in advance, try to let your winners run a little bit more. That's all I'm asking. Cool. Let me know if you have other questions or if I should just bust through some analysis. Okay. That's your weekly sell zone. There's your weekly target. This is your buy zone, and that's your target. What determines if you make money or not make money is whether the market happens to agree with you now. And if you remember on Monday, we talked about this was a plan A for bulls and plan B for bulls were here, right? And plan A for bears was up here, and I don't know where plan B was, probably up here. I guess we would, yeah, as a range, sort of a range type thing. But there you go. So we don't even know who's going to win this, okay? Again, this was a bullish buy area. This was a bearish sell area. Who's going to make money? I really don't know. Yeah, we'll do that. I guess we'll do euro dollar next. Sure. I had it over here. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So you shouldn't buy it here. Okay. So remember, it's not my opinion, right? I got to be clear on that. But this is a resistance zone by definition. That's what that is telling us. So it's not a thought, right? It's just that's what it's telling us. Okay, cool. So the predictable move could be done. Now this entry here is a swing, and we've double topped now at the conservative target for that swing, but the swing actually predicts up here, but remember, it doesn't have to do it. The standard operating procedure for that swing is that, right? This predicts this, and that predicts that, okay? Okay. Maybe mark that. Now, if you wanted to be a bear, on the first touch, you don't really have permission except for a scalp to sell this. But if you're a bear looking for permission to sell, a double top is a reversal pattern. And the follow-up to a double top is a 1, 2, 3, and there's another opportunity. So you can trade the double top if you're a bear. And then the next trade is the lower low, lower high. 1, 2, 3, sell. Okay. If you want to be a bear. Okay. I really dislike selling into trends, but if you were looking to be a bear, that is the beginning, the birth of a reversal, right? I always find the 1, 2, 3 off of a double top better, but that's your alpha. Okay. Any questions about that? Just mark your support and resistance zones and you'll be fine. Okay. Obviously, if you're a bull, a breach below that is a massive, massive, massive red flag. Okay. Thank you, Jude. Thank you for subscribing. Yes, Kenny, that's how I would read that. I'm not sure if I know what you mean, Infinite. So I didn't get my pullback. Bears didn't sell. Notice how important, again, I reemphasize, I really don't like selling into an uptrend. I like buying dips in an uptrend. So I would have preferred, let's say, like I don't remember the discussion of why we have this down, but my preference always, always, always in a trend is to buy a dip. Didn't get a dip. That happens. Also, this is British pound, and this is so related to Brexit. So in a, let's say in a typical, how do you say, economically trending market. So, you know, economics of one country versus economics of another country creates a trending supply and demand, right? Based on business between the two countries and trade between the two countries and all that kind of stuff. Right now, we get moves more off of Brexit news than, you know, the economic relationship between the United Kingdom and Japan. You see what I mean? So I don't have a fleet of private jets, Infinite Solutions. No, I'm a pretty regular guy. I spend my money on school and my children. I don't own a yellow Lamborghini. Actually, I own a golf cart. So, you know, just a pretty normal dude. Yeah, hey, no worries, Kenny. Yeah. Gold? I'm not sure if we did gold yet today, right? Well, Jeremy, like a breach of support in an uptrend is very worrisome to a bull, right? So just put it that way. Okay. What's the established trend? It's been up. Great. Should we be cautious? Yeah, because we've hit the predicted top for the month. Cool. So remember, this could have been your walk away, done for the month. Are you still a bull? That's the only question that matters. If you're still a bull, somewhere in there. Okay. Now, if you're not a bull and you want to be a bear, if I were me, I would do it more like this. Okay. I'd like to breach the first level of support before I sell. At the very least, the first level of support should break, right? Yeah, private jet. I wonder how. Like the thing is, in America, a private jet is sort of a strange thing. Like, I do know people with private jets, and they are very, very, very wealthy. Um, but like they fly around between New York and Florida, essentially, and these little hubs in between, right? But you need a pretty big jet to fly from, let's say, Atlanta to Los Angeles, right? You get to a point for even them, it's sort of ridiculous. Like, is it really worth that much, right? But first class, flying domestically, first class is so pathetic that maybe people do. But anyways, and these guys own their own jet. They don't do this fractional ownership stuff. Um, so anyway, so like if I'm flying from New York to Atlanta or Atlanta to Miami or Miami back to New York, then you have this private jet and you're spending every time you fly somewhere, it's 25 to 50,000 bucks. But you can take between 4 and 6 people with you. Cool. Um, but the United States is a big country. Like, that's not that. I mean, I guess it's a stretch. Could I even fly to Colorado to go skiing? I don't know. So it's like in America, it doesn't really make sense unless you're doing all these little short jumps. Let's say you had a beach house, and I'm in Atlanta, and I have a beach house in Amelia Island, Florida. Yeah, it's a 6-hour drive or a 40-minute flight. Okay, that makes sense, right? But do you go that often that you'll need a private jet? And is it cheaper than fractional? Well, I guess if you're going to park it. But then you got the FAA stuff, you got the maintenance stuff, you got to rent your hangar, you got to have a pilot. You're like, phew. So, anyways, not sure if it makes sense for me. Nor am I going to drop 50 or 60,000 bucks to fly to my beach house. Not quite there yet. Okay. But 50 or 60,000 to take a couple of classes at Harvard, such is my fate. Jeremy says he would rather have a private yacht. Well, see, I don't know. It depends, like if you're first money or first generation money or not. I don't know too many entrepreneurs that just burn their money. They're like, now I'm so rich, I'm just going to buy a yacht. So, like, I know someone, his yacht, it was worth like, what was it? It was in pounds, I think, back then. I think it was like 40 million pounds, and he bought it for 8. That's how you do it. Incredible, but unique. It was very unique. A lot of people would look at it and go, "Oh my God, that's a horrible yacht." I looked at it and I'm like, "Damn!" It was very unique. So, anyways, it was a quick sale, and anyways, that's how you do it, though. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it that way. All right. So let's move on to trading. What's the next move? Well, we know that in the next 72 hours, this is going to drop. Or at least that's our plan. So what are you going to do about it? I'm in my third year, NP. I'm in a 4-year program. I'm about to wrap up my third year. Yeah. So Okay. So anyways, what are we looking to do? We want to sell. There's no way in the world we're even going to think about buying. Buying doesn't exist. Okay. Our plan is it either falls tomorrow or it falls on Friday. Yeah, that's cool. Infinite solutions. That's really nice. You have to be a private pilot and stuff. I have a friend that does that. So when he travels, he's like, look, I'm in Brazil. I rented a plane. I'm flying over the Cristo. And you're like, oh, really? Interesting way to be a tourist. Any thoughts? Is anyone going to do it? Alex asked a good question. What do you reckon about the Indian versus Pakistan situation? Unless missile flies, doesn't impact the market right now. I know they're shooting each other, killing each other, but that's been going on forever. But if one of them opens the doors to the nuclear bombs, right? Okay, that'll move the market. But other than that, you have to understand, like, Americans have very little understanding about India and Pakistan and where it is in the world. And they're like, isn't that where all the call centers are? Like, people just don't get it here. And so what you're asking, and I've forgotten who asked the question. Who asked the question? Alex. Alex, think of it this way. What will make someone dump $1 billion portfolio that took them 10 years to create? That's really what matters. When people start dumping their portfolios that took years and years and years and years and years to make. Okay, a skirmish on the Pakistani-Indian border is not going to make some guy in New York City dump his hard work of 10 years and move on. Okay, that's what you need to think about. Okay, streaming? I don't know. So some people are going to give it a shot. Yeah, I have to double check that. Yeah, the market's very inconsistent. Anyways, so yeah, so that means you're looking for something. Okay, like I said, this is the very beginning of some sort of trade plan. You need to plan this out. So I'm telling you, if in the next 72 hours this falls, then what? How do I write this? Then what will you trade? Then trade trade. I know that's hard to see. Anyways, what is your plan? What are you looking for? What's going to make you trade? Okay. I mean, this is it. This is it. Plan it. Plan it. Are you at resistance? Are you in a sell zone? And do you have a fundamental, let's say, strategy? What is your hypothesis? 2.65 billion is going to move from this country to that country in the next 72 hours. That's your hypothesis. Well, we already know Powell's stuff. Cohen is news, it's not economics. There's the third guy. The third guy's testified today, and I can't remember his name and his title, but it has to do with U.S. trade relations with everybody. And that's probably more economically important. Lichtenstein? I can't think of his name. Yeah, we did a couple. We did a couple of pound pairs. I think pound dollar, pound yen. Cool. ZAR. You want to do Rand? All right, we'll do some Rand. We'll leave peso there for now. CAD, dollar. I guess we can just go here. Do I have it even here? And I ran so far away. Yeah, this one is slightly dangerous. So anyways, if this is easier, I think, if you're a bull. Not that it's more likely, it's just easier if you're a bull. You're going to look at this. Okay. And that's bad for macroeconomics, but that seems to be the flavor of the week, isn't it? Thank you, Ed. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think so, Rand. Jan? Okay. Is this a good place to sell? No. Does anyone want to sell this pair? Huh. Well, the problem is, like, this is a sell zone for next month, but is this a lower low? I mean, I guess you could do it. I suppose it would have to look more like this. Okay, it's such an ugly pattern in that case, but I don't know. So right now, if I was forced to do anything, if I had to do something, that seems more plausible in the short run. I don't like it though because it's sort of lacking a trend. I mean, maybe that creates a new uptrend, and the Fed not raising interest rates can bring dollar strength, but we'll see. I was hoping it would be good for emerging markets, but it's been overplayed a bit. Derek, try fxbootcamp.com. Any other requests for currency pairs? And by the way, guys, thank you for attending. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for leaving comments. Thank you for all of that. Just want to make sure I say it before the end of the webinar. Pound Kiwi. No, I have not done Pound Kiwi. But I suppose we could. And I ran. What do you think? You see congruency here? Pound is strong, right? The hanging's been delayed. Okay. So if you're a swing trader and you were a bull, then on Sunday afternoon, we opened up in your weekly buy zone on the monthly central pivot. The target for this week is here. All you had to do is be a swing trader. All you had to do is be a bull. Now, a bear swing trader would have said, oh, I'm going to wait for it to come up here and then look for a sell. Maybe they got a pattern in there. Maybe they didn't, but that was resistance. And you see there was hesitation in here. Bulls won that battle. The thing is, you shouldn't be battling up here as a bull. The battle is here, right? So not enough bears got involved, and now we're up here. Okay. What determines, once again, whether you make money or not is whether the market happens to agree with you this week or not. It's a little trickier when this is so news-driven versus data-driven. Last week, this was your bullish buy. Last week, this was your bullish buy zone. Okay. Here's Sunday afternoon when I tell you you need to be at your charts, ready to do a swing. There's your target. Then this Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern time for me, if I was a bull like I was here, I'd be buying here and my target would be here. Okay. This M2 predicts an M4. This, I guess we'll call it central pivot, actually predicts R2. Yeah, Ed. Yeah, although, Ed, I've never found quadruple witching to be that important to the currency markets. I mean, obviously for futures and for options and stuff, but I haven't found it to be a big Forex mover, but they are important, right? Yeah, right comes. Kiwi dollar. I thought we did Kiwi dollar. Aussie dollar, I don't believe we did. Thank you for the questions. I appreciate you guys interacting with me. Okay. So I've been this has been a very lackluster currency pair. This is why I don't cover it very much. It hasn't done anything swing-wise. We started the month with a great sell, but we're supposed to be way down here today. All right. So at this point, I think the best we can talk about is, it's rangy. And what I tend to do when I find myself in a range is either do nothing or sell the top, buy the bottom, sell the top, and do everything I possibly can to stay out of the middle. So we're here now, not interested. Okay. Right, here's where we are now, not interested. If we're up here, not interested. If we're not up here, maybe interested. If we're up here, interested. Buying here, nope. Buy here, nope. Buy here, nope. Buy here, maybe. Okay, yeah, maybe. Okay, so only at these prices. So remember, when you're using things like oscillators, or if you're using other tools, whatever your tools are, do not do anything unless you're on support and resistance. The other point to make out is knowing whether your market is trending up or down or sideways. If it's trending up, you're buying at support. If it's trending down, you're selling at resistance. Okay? In this case, we seem to be moving sideways. And no matter what happens, so let's say pivot points come out, weekly pivot points, daily pivot points, all these different things. I override that. Not interested. In market conditions like this, I either look for an opportunity to sell high or look for an opportunity to buy low. To me, it's the same thing. There is no trend, so they're just as good. I'm indifferent. Or wait for a break, and then now I have my new trend. And then with my new trend, I know exactly what to do. Okay? So I look at this and I'm like, blah. Okay? On the short term, the best opportunity I can even think about, it just, like it could be a top, maybe, is selling here. It's a little tiny early, but there's enough going on. But if we go all the way up here, then it's definitely an inside month. And let me define that for you on a daily chart. An inside month is a trendless month. Okay? And that is defined by pivot points here and here. And you can see that that works out just fine. Okay? So if it's going to trend, that is acceptable. And it might just be topish enough, right? Like, let me draw it this way. Like, it just maybe, see all this in there? Maybe, right? Maybe is enough. But if it goes a little higher, then it defines this. Okay? When you are the #1 most not full of poop educator. Oh, thank you. What do I think about wheat? I don't have knowledge on wheat. Now, I am from Saskatchewan, but I don't trade wheat. And with macroeconomics the way they are, for example, I don't even know if there's tariffs on wheat right now because of Trump and China and stuff. So I don't have knowledge on that. But I'll tell you what, many years ago, maybe 10 years ago, maybe even longer, we had an FX boot camper that was learning technical analysis, not to trade Forex, but he was a professional wheat trader for like a grain elevator operating firm or something like that. And he wanted to learn technical analysis. And I thought that was very interesting. So we'd talk about it. Okay. The other thing about wheat, like one year my mother contacted me and she's like, she said it was so wet in Saskatchewan that farmers were not able to plant their fields before the deadline to buy insurance on their crops. Because you can't buy, let's say, as the tornado's coming, you can't buy crop insurance, right? So anyway, so there's a deadline when you can or cannot buy insurance. And it was such a wet spring that the vast majority of farmers just couldn't get out in the fields. So my mom tells me this. I'm like, really? Which means if they're not able to buy insurance, there's a good deal, how could you possibly take the risk, right? So anyways, I thought it was very interesting that my mom helped me predict a shortage in wheat that particular year. And the other time when it comes to grains, one year the U.S. government reported, because they tracked the market, and they said more farmers planted corn that particular year than it was required by law in World War II or something, like something crazy. And it had to do when oil prices were sky high. Remember when we had, I don't know, $200 a barrel oil? And so there was demand for ethanol, and they were making ethanol out of gasoline. So anyways, this particular year, the government reported that farmers, having seen ethanol prices sky high the previous year and corn prices sky high the previous year, well, in their brilliance, every farmer in America decided to plant corn, because last year corn prices were high. Well, the funny thing about that is, well, then that means we're going to have lots and 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 lots of corn, which actually drives prices down. So my first thought is, well, if all these farmers are planting corn, we're going to have a surplus of corn, and corn prices will fall. Sell corn. But then there's the substitution effect. If they're planting corn, then they're not planting what they normally plant. What would that be? And that would be wheat. So you would sell corn, you would buy wheat, and then if you take it a little bit further, corn needs twice as much fertilizer than wheat. So my third part of the trade plan was to buy Potash Corporation of Saskatchewan, which is one of the largest, if not the largest, producer of grain fertilizers in the world. So there would be, if let's say there's 30% more wheat planted this year than most years, then there's at a very least 30% more demand for corn, because it requires so much more than a normal year. So that should be up as well. And then you can take it one step further. If a farmer normally plants wheat, then think of his equipment. Right? He's got combines, for example, for wheat, but he doesn't have the attachment to cut down corn stalks and remove corn, right? Corn cobs and all that kind of stuff. So he's got to go down to the local John Deere dealership and buy or rent or lease or whatever the attachment. So you might as well buy some John Deere stock as well. And that actually all worked out, by the way. Crazy, huh? Very, very cool. I love trading. So, hey, thank you for being on my team. Thank you for your loyalty and respect that you show me every day. Thank you for subscribing. Click the Forex.Today logo. And remember, there's 4,000 YouTube videos associated with my work. Feel free to watch some or all of them. And good luck with that. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Thanks to Traders Way. Go to tradersway.com. Open a demo account today. Cheers.